Heavy bag gloves. In other words, boxing gloves. Boxing gloves are essentially the opposite of competition gloves. The fingers aren't separated, they're heavy with lots of padding, and they're bulky. Boxing gloves are usually between 10 and 16 ounces, and they're more heavily padded than MMA gloves. This makes them ideal for protecting your hands and your sparring partner's head. This also makes them great for building up your arm strength. Most people start with 16 ounces for better protection and to condition their arm muscles. When it comes to padding, there are two categories of boxing gloves. You've got your heavy bag gloves, which use a firmer closed cell foam. Then there are sparring boxing gloves, similar to MMA sparring gloves, which use a fluffier open cell foam. These two types of boxing gloves look very similar, but it's mainly the type of foam inside that makes them different. Boxing gloves have a closed palm, as there's rarely a reason to ever open your hands during boxing. And in order to protect the thumb and make solid fists, boxing gloves have a full cover for the thumb, and they usually come with a strap connecting them to the rest of the hand. Now, who are boxing gloves for? Well, boxing gloves are typically used for heavy bag work and your harder sparring sessions. Again, two different gloves for each activity, one with dense padding and one with soft padding. One thing to note though, because of the extra padding in boxing gloves, you can hit a heavy bag much harder than you normally would. And while your knuckles might be protected, a lot of athletes may experience aching in their elbows and their shoulders. This is because they haven't conditioned those joints to the extra power behind their shots. Just something to keep in mind when hitting the heavy bag with boxing gloves. Who are boxing gloves not for? If you're working on your grappling and BJJ, or if you're doing sparring sessions where takedowns are allowed, you simply can't use boxing gloves. They've got a closed palm, closed fingers, and a grip bar. You can't even grab your water bottle, let alone your sparring partner's leg while wearing boxing gloves. Okay, now that we've covered the features that they have, let's break down the best MMA gloves by category for the best all-around glove, the most heavily cushioned glove or glove with the best protection, the premium or highest quality glove, and then the lowest priced glove, but still decent quality. The all-around best glove for heavy bag work would have to be Title Boxing's Pro Mex professional bag gloves. The Pro Mex was designed to be a bag glove, especially for heavy strikers. And for a heavy bag glove, this one is rare because it doesn't require any break-in time, which most do. Unlike a firmer glove like a categorize, the Pro Mex has some memory foam padding in the knuckle, which means a little more of the impact will be absorbed before it makes its way to your fist. If you'll be doing plenty of bag work and you want a slightly more cushioned glove, but that still has plenty of bounce back, this is probably your glove. Now, if you prefer a more heavily cushioned bag glove, then you'll definitely want to look into the Rival RB10 IntelliShock. The RB10 was built for maximum hand protection against the heavy bag. Most boxing gloves use either latex, open or closed foam, and some even use gel. But what makes the Rival RB10 unique to the rest on the list is its use of D3O foam. D3O is often used in things like hockey body armor and cell phone cases. What makes it interesting is that it's engineered to become stronger the more impact it receives. So the harder you hit, the more this foam tenses up and protects you. Even though it's got a lot of padding, this was intended to be a bag glove, so you'd probably still want a different model for sparring. If you want a glove with a bouncy rebound effect with each punch, this probably isn't the best model for you either. This is because the foam in the RB10 is soft at first until you really smack it. Only then does it become firmer like a typical bag glove. But if you want a protective glove that, because it's not a firmer foam, doesn't require any break-in time, this is probably the glove you're looking for. Now, if you want the premium go-to heavy bag glove on the market, then you're looking for the categorize traditional training gloves. This is popularly known as the puncher's glove, and it has the stiffest padding in the boxing world. Here's how to think about it. If winning gloves feel like taping a pillow to your knuckles to absorb all the shock, categorize is more like taping a fully inflated basketball to your knuckles. It's going to hit hard and quick and then rebound back. If you want a glove that doesn't require any break-in time, the categorize is not your glove. Remember, this is a puncher's glove. It's firm and bouncy, not shock absorbing, which can often feel rough on your knuckles at first. But if you want a premium heavy bag glove, and especially if you're a volume striker, the categorize is right up your alley. Next, if you want a more entry-level heavy bag glove, you will not find a better value glove on the market than the super popular Fairtex BVG1 boxing glove. The Fairtex BVG1 is a Muay Thai glove built specifically for the heavy bag. It's a little different than the heavy bag boxing gloves, mainly in the lack of wrist support and hand mobility. This means a couple things. If you're using it on the heavy bag, be sure to use hand wraps to hold your wrist in place. And also, since this is a tie glove, you could also use it for light sparring. Because of the design, there's not quite as much room inside, so if you've got really big hands, you might find it a bit snug. And the padding isn't quite as dense as some of the other boxing gloves, but the BVG1 is a great bag glove that can also double as a light sparring glove. So when you factor in the low price tag, the high quality Fairtex design, and the fact that you can use it for numerous types of training, the value of this glove is hard to beat.